Hello, this is Sam from Value Tech Academy. In this video, I will discuss the 10 SQL programming interview questions. Subscribe to our channel for more SQL interview questions like this every week. Also, we have a free SQL course to help you practice SQL quickly using 30 scenarios. Link to the free SQL course is provided in description. You can check it out. Let's get started now. In this video, I will be using the dataset provided by Microsoft to explain the 10 SQL interview questions. If you want to know how to get this dataset to practice these questions, check out the video we created. Link provided in description. So let's see the first question now. So the question is, write a SQL query to get the first two characters from product number. And the table name provided is production.product. So let's see the content in this particular table. Let's do a select query. Okay, so we want to get the first two characters from the product number. So we have this product number. So let's rewrite this query. And we got the required column, and now we want only the first two characters. So to get the first two characters, that is like the characters before the hyphen, if you see here AR, BA, BB, so those two characters before the hyphen, if you want to get it, you can use the substring function. We have already discussed in detail about substring in our playlist. If you want to learn more about SQL substring, you can check out our playlist where we have discussed substring in detail. Link provided in description for SQL substring. So what we can use for this interview question is we can use the substring function now. So let me show you how we can use this to get the first two characters. So the substring function takes three arguments. The first one is going to be the column name. Here the column name is going to be product number, and the second argument is going to be the position from where we want to extract. So here if you want to extract two characters, right, we want to start from the first position. So that is going to be the index number. So the index is starting index is going to be 1. So we are going to mention 1 here. So it means just start counting this index from the first position. Then how many characters we want to extract from index 1. So if we see this question, we want the first two characters. So we want to get two characters from here. So just mention 2. And we can give an alias. So let's see now. So if you see here, we just got this two characters from this input column, AR, BA, BB. So as per the interview question, we got the first two characters from the product number, and it can be done using the substring function. So substring function takes three arguments. The first argument is going to be the column name, and the second is going to be the starting position from where you want to count or from where you want to extract the characters. So in this position, if you see in this columns, the position we want to start is from first. Okay, first index we want to start the extraction. So how many characters you want to extract from this column? We want to extract two characters. So that's why the third argument is going to be that number 2. So in this way, you can solve this interview question. In this video, let us see the second interview question. Write a SQL query to calculate the 10% hike in pay rate and display the results. The table we want to check is employee pay history. So let's check this table. So we have this column rate. So the SQL question is we want to calculate the 10% hike in pay rate. So we have this pay rate in dollars. It's like $125 or $63 per hour. So we want to compute what is going to be the 10% hike of this particular column. So let's write this column name rate. And we can compute the 10% hike using this formula, rate plus rate into 0.10. So 10% is nothing but 0.10. So what we are going to do is we are going to first compute what is going to be the 10% of this particular values. Then we are going to add that particular value whatever we got here. So first for this $125.50 we'll come this particular thing will compute the 10% hike what is going to be, and that 10% value is going to be added to this column, right? That is, it will be added to 125. So let's see the results. And now you can see here, so we have this original column rate, and here we have calculated the 10% hike. So if we are having this original pay rate as 125.50 cents, it's going to be 138 and 5 cents. So this is going to be the new hike value. If you are going to, if the company is going to offer like 10% hike to this pay rate, so this is going to be the values. So write a SQL query to calculate the 10% hike in pay rate and display the results. So we got this results displayed now. In this video, let us see the third SQL interview question. Write a SQL query to get the next 10 records after the first 5 records. So let's see what it is. So let's go to the required table. Okay, so now you can see 16 records here, right? There are like 16 department IDs. So what we need to get is we have here first 5 records, right? So we want to skip this 5 records and we want to get only the next 10, that is from 6 all the way till 15. So these are the records like from 6 to 15. So this is the SQL interview question. We want to get only these 10 records. That is, you need to get the next 10 records after the first 5. So we are going to skip the first 5 and we want to pick only the next 10 records. So let's see how we can do this in SQL. Let me copy this query. So what we're going to do here is we just want to first order the department ID. It's already ordered, but like in case if it is not ordered, we want to make sure it is like in the ascending order. So just mention the keyword order by. Okay, so all we have this department IDs ordered in ascending order. So we want to skip the first 5 records. So this first 5 we want to skip. For that, what we are going to do is we are going to use a keyword called offset. Offset. How many rows we want to skip? The first 5. So just mention 5 rows. So let's see what is the output now. So you can see the first 5 records got skipped and all the records got displayed in the department ID starting from 6 to 16. But our requirement says we don't want this 11 records. We want only the next 10. Okay, we need to get the next 10 records after the first 5 records. Okay, so we want from 6 to 5. So for this, what we can do is we'll add one more condition called fetch next 10 rows only. So what this statement will do is this statement will fetch only the next 10 records. So it will skip this last record or whatever record comes after the 10th record. So let's see how it works. See, we got only 10 records from department ID 6 to 15 only we got. We got this first 5 records skipped, and after the 10th record, like that is after department ID 15, the remaining records will be skipped. So if you come to this interview question, got the next 10 records after the first 5. So if we go to this original table, so we want to get the next 10 records after the first 5 means after this first 5 we want to get the next 10. So that is from 6 to 15. So if you go to this query, we will be using offset keyword to skip the first 5 And next we will be using the fetch next 10 rows only, this particular line, to get the next 10 records after the first 5. So we got this next 10 records after the first 5. This solves the interview question. Let's see the fourth SQL interview question. Write a SQL query to get the pay rates that are duplicated in the table. So here we want to find the duplicate records in the table. So if it is going to be only the unique pay rates, we can just use the distinct keyword and like we can find the unique pay rates. But here the question is, we want to find the pay rates that are duplicated in the table. That is, we want to find the duplicate records in a table. We have already explained this particular scenario in detail in another video, and we have provided the link for that particular SQL question, so you can check out the video in description. So there we have explained in detail how we can find the duplicate records in a table in multiple ways. So for this SQL interview question, we'll just use one of those methods. So let's go to the table. So we have this rate column here. Let me order them. Here you can see there are some pay rates that are repeated, like $6.5 if you see here. See, these values are repeated. But if you see 6.75 and like $7, these are like unique values. And if you come for 7.25, that is repeated. So we want to get only the pay rates that are duplicated in the table. So we are not interested in 6.75 or $7. We want like records like 6.5 and 7.25. So let me show you how we can answer this question. So let's group them. The column rate, and we'll use this having clause, so to filter rates that are repeated or that is like duplicated in the table. So let me show you. So this group by, what it will do is it will group this rate values, and then if there are any rate which is more than one, okay, only those records are going to be displayed. Now using this having condition, what it will do is it will filter only those pay rates that are more than once. So here if you see 6.5 is like more than once, but like 6.75 or 7 is like we just repeated. I mean there is no repetition, right, for 6.75 and 7, so those records won't be displayed. So let's see here. 6.5 and 7.25 got displayed. The other records, like if you see 6.75 or like $7, it's not repeated. So only records which are more than once in the table, right? Only those duplicate records are like displayed using this query. You can also verify in this way. If you want to verify any value, just copy and you can check here. You can see the pay rate 10.25 is like more than once. So using this particular query, you can answer this interview question to get the pay rates that are duplicated in the table. Let's see this fifth SQL interview question. Write a SQL query to create a new table with the schema and data copied from another table. So the other table is going to be this department table. So what we need to do is we need to create a new table with the same schema and data copied from this department table. So let's see the data in this table now. Okay, so here we have 16 records. Okay, and we have columns like department ID, name, group name, and modified date. So we need the same structure. We need all these columns as well as we need all this data in the new table which we are going to create now. So let's see how we can answer this interview question. So let me copy this. So what we will do here is just add one more line. That's enough. So we are going to use into the new table name. Okay. So what happens is using this particular select star into new table. So what will happen here is it will select all the schema and data into this new table, copy it from this table department. So the new table's name is going to be new table. You can give any name you want. So let's see what happens here. So 16 rows affected. So let's see this new table that got created. So in the new table, you can see we have all the same 4 columns as well as we can see the 16 records that got copied from this department table. So in this way, we can answer this interview question, how to create a new table with the schema and data both copied from the another table. So that is here department table. Let's see the sixth SQL interview question. Write a SQL query to find the number of employees working in each designation. So the table name provided is employee. So let's see the data. So we need to find the number of employees. So the employees information can be got from this login ID. For each employee, we have a login ID and we have this designation here in this column, job title. So let us rewrite this query. So here we got this designation and the employees. So what we need to find here is, if we go to this question, we need to find the number of employees in each designation. So if we consider this research and development manager, right? So there are like many people working here, right? So we want to find how many employees are there in this particular designation. So likewise, for each and every designation, we want to find, like for example, if it is tool designer, we want to find how many employees are there under tool designer designation. And if it is going to be a marketing specialist, we want to find how many employees are under this particular designation. So what we can do here is, let's use count. We're going to count the employees based on the designation. So we're going to group by the designation. So here the designation column is going to be job title. So group by job title. And we'll just order the results for better readability. So if we go here, you can see for accountant, there are like 2 employees working in this designation, and we can give an alias for this. So if you go to this research and development, which we saw earlier, right? See, for research and development, there are like 2 people. So we can confirm. See, there are like two people working under this same job title, research and development. So likewise, we can find the number of employees in each designation. So in this way, we can answer this interview question, that is to find the number of employees working in each designation. Let's see the seventh SQL interview question. Write a SQL query to create a new table with only the structure copied from the other table. So the other table is like department table. We want to create the new table with only the structure copied. That is, we don't want any data copied from the department table. We only want to create a new table using the structure from the department table. So let's see how we can do this. So you can see there are like 4 columns and we have 16 records. So what we want to do is we only want to get this column names, that is the structure of this table, but we don't want to have any data copied. So what we can do here is, since we don't want any data, right, we will use top 0. So what it means is we are not going to get any records, okay, but a structure will be created for the new table. So for the new table, we'll use this into. Okay, so in this way, what will happen is a new table will be created using the structure from the department table, and using this top 0, what will happen is no records will be copied, but only the structure will be used to create this new table. Okay, see, 0 rows got affected. So let's see this table now. So in this table, you can see the structure alone got copied and did not copy any additional records from this department table. In this way, you can answer this SQL interview question. Let's see the 8th SQL interview question. Write a SQL query to display the first name of people whose first name ends with alphabet W and has total 6 characters. So it means we want to get only the first names that has totally 6 characters and it should end with the alphabet W. So the table given is person. So let's see the data in this table now. We are interested in this column first name only. So let's rewrite this query with the required column. Okay, here we have only the first names. So if you want to find only the first names ending with W, what we can do is we can use this like operator with a percentage and then the W. So if you do like this, what will happen is it will give all the first names that ends with the alphabet W. So if you see here, we have Matthew that ends with W, and we also have Drew, it ends with W. And if you see, there are two variations of Matthew. If you see Matthew, it has MATT, and there's another Matthew with one T. But here the requirement says it ends with alphabet W and has total 6 characters in the first name. So if you go to this first name, even though these values end with W, they are not having like 6 characters. If you see this one, it has only 4 characters. And if you see this, it has 6 characters. So we are interested in only the first names that ends with alphabet W, and also it should have total 6 characters. So what we need to do is, instead of this percentage, we'll just use underscore for 5 times. So I give 5 underscores here. So this 5 underscore and this W is going to be the 6 character. So in this way, if you filter out, see here, we got only the first names that ends with character W, and the total characters in this first name is going to be only 6 characters. This is because this W is going to be one character and we gave like 5 underscore before that. So it took total 6 characters and the 6th character should end with W. So in this way, what we can do is we can find the first name of people who has first names ending with alphabet W as well as having total 6 characters. So using this way, you can answer this SQL interview question. Let's see the ninth SQL interview question. Write a SQL query to display the first name of people with last names Brown, Williams and Hill. So if any people has this last names, we are going to display only those people's first name. So let's see the table. So we have the first name and last name columns. So if any of this last name matches these three names, then we want only those first names displayed. So let's rewrite this query. So the last name should be one out of these three. So if we see here, we got this people with last names Brown, Hill, and also Williams. And we want only the first names. We don't want uh, any other columns. So let's just mention the first name. So we got the first name of people who has last names Brown, Williams, and Hill. So in this way, you can answer this SQL interview question. Let's see the 10th SQL interview question. Write a SQL query to combine the last name and the first name with a comma in between, and we need to display the results in this format, that is last name comma first name. So let's go to this table person. We need to combine this last name and the first name with a comma in between them. Okay, so what we can do is we can use a function called concat. We have explained in detail how to use concat with a scenario. So you can check out the link in description to know how to use concat in detail. So for this interview question, you can use the concat function. So what we are going to combine here is the last name and then a comma in between and then a first name. So let's give this values in this concat function. Comma, and next it's going to be a comma in between, and next is going to be the first name. So if you see here, you can see this last name Adams, and next you have this comma, and next you have this first name. So if you go to this, you can see you need to display the results in this format, that is a last name and a comma in between and a first name. So we have this last name, next a comma and a first name. So Adams, Alex, like that you can see all of them getting displayed. So in this way you can answer this SQL interview question. To learn SQL interview questions every week, don't forget to subscribe to our channel If you want to practice more SQL queries using scenarios, check out our playlist for practical SQL scenarios. Link provided in description. Thanks for watching this video.